Strangers judge your dominance before you finish blinking. Not your words, not your energy, not how you carry yourself, your jaw. You've seen it. Two people walk into a room. One gets interrupted, one doesn't. Same confidence, same words, different face. Researchers flashed photographs for less than 1/10 of a second. No context, no movement, no voice. And those strangers consistently associated facial structure with dominance, status, and strength before anything else was processed. 1/10 of a second. Think about every room you have walked into, every conversation you thought was going your way. The perception was already forming, and if your jawline is sending the wrong signal, you are losing ground you never knew you had. Here's what the research actually shows. A 2014 study, published in the journal Psychological Science, found that facial width to height ratio, the relative width and definition of the jaw, was one of the consistent visual cues people use to form dominance judgments. Within fractions of a second of visual contact, the researchers were not measuring reality. They were measuring perception. And perception drives reaction. This is not a conscious process. The person across from you is not analyzing your face. Their brain is running a fast, automatic pattern match and filing you into a category before the conversation has started. Now here is what a soft jawline tends to communicate in that pattern match. Undefined jaw. Low muscle tone around the face and neck. The brain tends to associate these with lower dominance, less likely to be perceived as dominant or attention-worthy, less likely to be read as someone who leads. Nobody will tell you this to your face, but perception shapes how people respond to you before you have said a single word. And here is what almost nobody talks about. This signal does not only go outward, it comes back to you. When the jaw is underdeveloped, your resting expression can read as more tense or uncertain. Your eye contact feels less grounded. Even your voice is affected, because the musculature around the jaw and neck directly influences vocal resonance and projection. The jaw is not cosmetic. It is one part of a larger system of signals your face sends constantly. So if perception is the problem, can you shift the signal? Research from the University of Toronto found that facial structure consistently influenced leadership ratings, even among strangers with no prior interaction. No conversation, no behavior observed, just the face, just the fraction of a second. What that tells us is not that jaw structure determines your life. It tells us that first impressions are heavily visual, and visual signals can be worked on. Same person, stronger signal, different category. Here are 3 things you can start today. No surgery, no equipment. First, oral posture. This comes from the field of orthotropics, which studies how habitual oral posture may influence facial appearance over time, particularly through posture correction and muscle engagement. The protocol is simple. Rest your entire tongue flat against the roof of your mouth, not just the tip, the entire tongue, pressing gently upward, lips closed, teeth lightly together. Most people rest their tongue at the bottom of the mouth throughout their lives. Over years, this affects how the face develops and how it reads to others. The evidence in adults is still emerging, but the mechanical logic is straightforward, and the people who have been consistent for 1 to 2 years carry themselves differently. That difference in presence is noticeable. Second, masseter training. The masseter is the primary jaw muscle, one of the strongest muscles in the body relative to its size. Almost no one deliberately trains it. The method: mastic gum, not regular chewing gum. Mastic gum, dense, highly resistant, requires sustained force to chew. 10 to 15 minutes per day, alternating sides. Within 8 to 12 weeks, Consistent masseter engagement can lead to noticeable muscle development, which may make the jaw appear more defined. The angles read as sharper. The overall structure carries more presence. Third, contrast. The jawline is not just the jaw, it is defined by what surrounds it. A 3 to 5% reduction in body fat produces visible sharpening of the jaw, not because the jaw changed, but because the tissue obscuring it reduced. Add neck training, neck curls, neck extensions, 3 sets, 3 times a week. A stronger, more developed neck creates a structural frame that makes the jaw read as more defined by contrast. 8 weeks of consistency. Look at the difference. I used to think facial structure was fixed, something genetic, something beyond reach. What I did not understand was this. The jaw responds to input, to posture, to muscle use, to the signals you send it every single day. You have been sending the wrong signals, not because you are not trying, because nobody framed it this way before. Nobody will tell you this to your face, but everyone reacts to it. Now you know what the signal is, and you cannot unsee it. 30 days, all 3. No adjustments. Start today. Come back and comment, jaw reset, below. I read every single one. If this shifted something, hit like and subscribe to Attract Psych. New videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, or keep sending the same signal.